That's the Eps and Dad podcast with T-Bark and Becky Chad. Serving the realness, don't make them mad. Nah, say how you feel. Communicate freely, that's how you build. Word.
Yeah. Eps and Dad podcast.
This is episode 15.
No, it's episode 4.
Oh, episode 4, man.
We back.
We on live. We got everything going. Episode 4. Everything's been good so far. Thank you for tuning in again. Like I said, we appreciate you, whether you driving in your car, listening in your kitchen while you cooking, listen to us while you cleaning. Whenever you listen, we just happy you listening, man. We appreciate it.
For sure.
Yeah, man.
So today's topic. Oh, let me say this about last week. A lot of people had opinions about, Miss Tiara Johnson. Thank you, Miss Tiara Johnson, for
we
coming
appreciate
through.
you.
And one of the key things that she said was that, like, every situation is different. Certain situations happen, and you might catch a judge on a bad day. So I did get a lot of people who was hitting us up in the DM, replying, email saying, that she didn't know what she was talking about, that their situation is totally different, and we understand that she's only speaking on what she saw. So we do appreciate her for coming. So don't try to go bash her because
and that's like one of those tougher issues because it's very, very, very. It's not like black and white. Mm-hmm. It's very opinionated. It all depends on what that judge or is feeling that day. Or how that person is. So it all depends on what you see. Every case is different, and it's going to be the same. There's no cut and dry.
Thanks for wearing my shirt. I appreciate that. It's not even out yet. But today's topic today is discipline.
Discipline, man.
T-Bark wrote that, and he wrote it on the slant. But anyway, T-Bark. I just think that this is something that's very important in our communities. Discipline. It's, I think that's what actually keeps us together or keep people in check. I think we all need discipline. I mean, we all need rules. We all need, we all need parameters because, if we didn't have police or we didn't have, cops telling us what to do or keeping us confined in these things, this world would be crazy. It would just be, what's that movie called? I forget what the name of that movie is.
That's crazy. I was just talking about this the other day.
The Purge?
Yeah, Purge.
It would be The Purge. It would be straight
24/7.
So the fact that we do have rules and we do have people to put us or to discipline us has caused us to be a little bit more constrained.
Yeah, that's pretty much the major point of discipline is to teach your children to follow rules, and let them know what's acceptable, what's not acceptable. It all depends on you as a parent to instill those values, your values that you have into your children, so that pretty much when you turn your back, they off on their own. You have that faith in your child that you did a good job and you discipline them the right way, that you don't have no worries. Like, especially in the black community nowadays, like, you got to think about how many people have sons, send their kids out for, like Ricky, out for milk. They may not come home. You know what I mean? Especially with you got kids getting shot over being in their own backyard at the wrong time. You know what I mean? It's crazy, but you want to have that faith that you discipline your kids, that they won't be in that wrong place at the wrong time, I guess.
Okay. So one of my biggest points, and I know we're going to get points to points, and I got a lot of questions for you today. This is a very, very good topic. One of my points is, I am your parent. I am, you did not ask to be in this world. I chose for you to be in this world. I didn't pull out fast enough or whatever happened. You were chose by me, right?
Yeah.
From my decisions or mistakes or whatever, however it works out there, but
You're here now.
So it is my job to raise you from 0 months or 0 days, 2 hours, whatever, to 18. Now, granted, when I say 18, I'm not saying that I'm kicking them out the house, because I got a whole different belief about kids at 18. I think they should stay home until they're financially ready to get out in the world. But let me raise you until you are 18. And the first 18 years of your life is so important, because this first 18 years of your life shapes the rest of your life.
I agree.
Even if you live from 0 to 18 and then you go 18 to 36, you will learn way more in the 0 to 18 than the 18 to 36.
Yeah, those are your sponge years, like you're supposed to be absorbing everything you put in front of them. They even now, like, you know, you put the wrong thing in front of my daughter, she gonna regurgitate it. It's just gonna be the wrong thing, and it's like, oh my God, all right, can't play that Cardi song no more. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? In situations like that. But continue on. I feel like I cut off your thought.
No.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's a team effort. So it's my job to raise you till you're 18. So I don't really feel like certain things you should get a choice. I picked you. Not to say that I connected the fallopian tube and created you like that, but I picked you. So it is my job to raise you the way, because I've seen things that you never saw. You're looking at it as, I want to go to the mall today, but you don't understand the financial things that we are going through right now. Or you don't see what I see when the lights go off at 8 o'clock at the movie theaters or the skating rink. It is my job to protect you, and it's my job to make the best decisions for you at that time. Forget the popular decision. It's easy to say yes all the time, but you as a parent have to step up. And if you create it, consistency is the key for everything. You can't tell your kid yes till they're 15 and then start telling them no. They become rebellious. They start going against you. They start testing you. You have to remain consistent. You have to have a lot of conversations. You have to remain consistent. So it's my job to keep you safe, as I said, and it's my job to put you in the right positions to forego life and be happy, and so or to live your life prosperous. So I really don't. It's no real room for your opinion.
And to go, like, it's not a negotiation.
It's
like,
it's straight what I say, right?
Yeah.
Now, but the loophole in that is out of respect, because I hated being in a democracy, or I hated when my dad I was in a dictatorship when my dad said, do this, do that, do this, do that, and don't give you reasons why, or don't tell you or let you know why you're doing it, so you can at least process, okay, this is why I'm doing this. This will help me later in life. Yeah. Well, even if you don't believe it, you're saying, he telling me that if I wash dishes now and I clean the clothes, it'll prepare me later on in life. He's saying that. Whether you believe it or not, it's still putting a reason next to it. Now, some parents back in the day, I don't got to give you a reason. You my son, you do what I tell you.
Yeah, so.
But I don't think that helps.
Okay.
I don't think that helps. So if I tell you what to do, I'm telling you what to do. But out of respect, the way that you talk back at me is I'm open for it. Hey, Dad, I don't think that is fair because this, or I washed up first yesterday, so can I wash up today after chat, or can I, I don't think that that's fair, and then that's up for negotiation. But it's the way you come back at me. Yeah, so it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
So to piggyback off of what you were saying, and I kind of got an idea, because we do like to read a little bit, like, touch up on things. So some of the things I seen when I was looking at it is like 3 types of parents. You got your authoritative parent, with their precise, they know exactly what they want. They're going to tell you what to do. They're clear, but they also have some type of affection towards the child. Then you got your authoritarian, which is probably what you're talking about. Your dad is like, yo, they got their same type of rules and regulations, and they're clear. I want you to do this. But it's no affection. It's like you said, because I said so. Right. Because I'm the parent. That's why we're doing it. And that you don't have no option. You know what I mean? Go to your room because I said so. Not go to your room because you was late to your first period class, or you didn't clean the dishes last night, or you know what I mean? Things like that. And then you got your permissive parent who's just all affection. It's like no discipline. It's like, they don't show any, You didn't go to first period. It's okay. I know you were tired last night because you stayed up all night. It's okay. We'll go to bed early tonight, and we'll make sure it's like, you know what I mean. And right. the second two is from the studies to show that they're not as effective, pretty much to back you up in your story, what you're saying. And you got to have that balance, like you said. Balance and consistency is keys when you dealing with your kids. Like there's nothing like you have to. You still want to give them that discipline and let them know that I'm here to show you the right way, and we're going to do what I say. But tell them why, like, because this is what I've been through. I know I've been through the ropes. I've been where you are.
Now that tell should be in all capital letters, though.
Yeah.
Like, tell them why I'm doing this because of this.
They need to know why.
You'll thank me later.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they'll be able to apply what you're saying because my dad told me because if I do this way, this will help this. So let me do this now.
Exactly.
Okay, I agree with that. So, are you pro beating or
Corporal punishment. That's what it is.
okay?
I mean, it's, pro beating. I am pro beating, but it's like a twist
Okay.
because I'm
Twist
pro
of the
beating.
whip or
No. I'm pro beating because I got my my butt beat.
Right.
I don't know if we like to curse on this or not. We haven't decided if
We haven't really.
we haven't decided if we're gonna go that route. So until we do, I'm gonna try to
Right.
keep it to a minimum. But yeah, I got my butt beat when I grown up. I turned out fine. And I knew when I came to make a decision, do I really want to do this? Is it worth that whooping?
Mm-hmm.
Half the time I was like, no, I'm not gonna do it because I knew that shit hurt. You know what I mean? It's that kept me from doing some of the things that I've done.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, I am pro beating. I know it helped a lot. Right. So when I go ahead and I say, are you pro beating? Yes, you know what I mean. It works. But now in my case, am I beating my daughter? No, I just can't see myself doing that. Only because I'm gonna teach my daughter, no man shall place hands on you. So it's when you're dealing with your kids, they're gonna use you as an example, and they're gonna follow suit. So if they say, if you're doing one thing, I never want to be that parent. Do as I say, not as I do.
Okay.
You feel me? That's just because they're gonna actions speak louder than words.
Okay.
So if you tell them that one thing, it's just that's one ear out the other. But if you showing them, my daughter grow up yo, we have a conversation, and you say, I don't like when people yell at me. What's the first thing you say? My dad never did that. My dad don't even yell at me. Mm-hmm. So if my daughter's in a situation dealing with a male and he going to put her hands, are you crazy? My dad don't even put his hands on me. I want her to be able to say that. If you grown up beating your daughter, then it's she grows up to think that that's okay. That's a part of discipline. So her husband may go ahead and be physical with her, and that's gonna put her in the right place. Go ahead, because I see your wheels are spinning. I want to hear what you got to say.
So, I'm pro beating and anti-abuse, right?
See, that's a very thin line.
No.
That's a very thin line.
Because one hit could be too much. I get it, right?
That's a very thin line.
Yeah.
So why even tiptoe around that thin line? There's a plenty of ways to be non-physical and discipline your kids.
There is. But this is the thing. For me, as a parent, me having 4 children as a parent, I am not going to be predictable. Okay. I feel like I'm coming at you. Today is the first time I'm coming at you. Your choice of discipline is predictable. I'm going to tell you why. When my son gets a bad, because every day they get marked, whether it was red, green, or yellow. Uh-huh. Green is the best. Red is the worst. Uh-huh. When he gets a red, he does not know what is going to happen to him when he gets home. I could say, son, don't worry about it. It's okay. Mm-hmm. Or I could say, I'm taking your TV out your room. Even though they don't have a TV, I'm just using an example. Or you're not going to be able to get water ice today. Or I'm going to whoop your ass. Or we're going to have a conversation. Or I'm going to make you do wall sits or push-ups. So when they make a decision, they have to think I do not know what's going to happen to me when I come home. Now, my opinion on what you do is, I'm going to sneak out, y'all. All my dad going to do is talk to me. All he does is talk to me. That's all he gonna do is talk to me. I'm gonna be in trouble, but he gonna talk to me. All I gotta do is sit here.
Bro, I have a 3-year-old.
But I'm just saying. I
don't have to worry about those type of issues right now.
You do.
But listen. You do. Listen to all of the parenting, methods and discipline methods that you named. You named about 5 different things, and only one of them were physical. So I still have options. Yes, when my daughter is bad, she doesn't get water ice. No, you're not getting that. Well, when she get home, she's not getting her iPad. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. She's not getting her iPad. She loves her iPad. She's not getting her iPad. Or she's sitting in timeout. Or you know what I mean? Is go sit over there. It's sit at the table and look at your letters or, for an hour. You know what I mean? It's things like that. There are other options than other being physical and you don't have to be predictable. So like what you're saying is just BS. I mean, the most physical I'll do to my daughter right now is probably pluck her legs or pluck her hand. Like I'll be like, yo, Journey, don't touch that. She'll look at me and touch it.
Okay.
Like, bro, like now, and honestly, it's me coming out of my character because I feel like I can't be disrespected.
Right.
That's one thing that just gets under my skin. You're not about to disrespect me. I feel like she knows what she's doing, so she's going to purposely disrespect. Like if somebody looks at you and then touches it anyway, I'm like, okay, Journey. So I'll give her a quick one, pop.
Right.
She'll pull back and she's just like, oh, all right, yeah, I just told you that.
Now my sons.
You have, but that's another thing.
Listen.
You have sons.
No, I'm breaking down to you.
If, bro, my dad put pause on me and my brother, and like I told you in the first episode,
Right.
you know what I mean? Go back, watch the first episode. I told him a story, but he put pause. I learned from my brother. I do not want that work. I'm
Right.
not built like that.
Right.
I'm good. Like I learned from example. Like I know my limits.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, I'm not going.
My daughter is the oldest, right? She's 9. I have created 9 years of discipline from paddling. She got beat with a belt maybe one time.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like, yo, extra, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I have created an understanding from 0, from the first day she was born till 9. I have given her enough understandings that she won't go past that because she can also visualize what I do to her brothers. Now, you see what I'm saying? So it's a certain age. I don't believe that guys should beat their daughters after a certain age. It's, hey, you should wait till your mom get home. You'll wait till your mom get home.
Ain't that backwards? After a certain age or before a certain age?
No, I'm saying after a certain age. After she's like 9, she's 9 now. I don't beat her.
So why beat her before 9 but not after 9?
Because
like,
it's not.
Like, I just want to understand your logic behind this. Cause
Okay, I'm gonna tell you
because I'm like this.
Right. See, sometimes I'm thinking in my head because I see what I'm doing. I'm not explaining it. So when I'm talking about beating my daughter, I'm not saying I'm pulling out a thick belt and I'm whipping her. Okay. My daughter should get popped in the legs. She get a hard smack to the butt. She get her hands popped. Okay. Now my daughter now, letting her down. Like, so my kids understand. I'm gonna get to this question. My daughter understands, and all my kids know. They know this now. They understand what abuse is. We've had conversations. They've been around kids who were getting flat out abused by their parents. Mm-hmm. They understand what abuse is. So they understand that my dad and my mom are not abusive. Mm-hmm. So if I do get a beating, I did it to myself. So we have a conversation before and we have a conversation after. And every time, which is not a lot. I'm not saying I'm in here welling my daughter. If out of the course of a year, maybe twice, she might get beat. And that's like a 2 pop, go to your room, pop in the back of the head, go to your room thing. I ask her every time when I'm done, are you mad at me? She said, no. I say, why? She says, because I did it to myself, or if I wouldn't have did this, this wouldn't have happened. So she understands that for every action, there's a reaction. And that doesn't happen. And all I got to do to my daughter, she's a kind-hearted baby to me, because she's still my baby. You let me down. Man, you would think I hit her with a 2-piece and an uppercut. Mm-hmm. That hurts her, because she has a soft heart. So it's different tactics that I can go around, but I just believe that beating is something that helps. It helps. And it should be something that's always on the table. You know you might get your ass whooped. And to differentiate kids, they're all different. You can have one kid where mom can come in and be like, you want your ass whooped or you want punishment? One kid be like, I want to go back outside, so you can just beat my ass.
Yeah, let's get this work.
Then his sister be like, or brother be like, nah, I'll just take the punishment. Mm-hmm. So each kid is different. But the options have to be on the table at all times. At all times. Because I'm going to tell you something later on in the show about kids and power. You write that down so you can remind me. Kids and power. It'll blow your mind. Because I guarantee you don't even think of it like that.
It's me writing it down.
This question, it says, what did she do to make you use a belt? To be honest, I can't remember. But after I did beat her at one time, I only beat my daughter one time with a belt. I felt like crap. I was like, yo, she didn't deserve it like that, right? But she didn't see me in that sorry mode. She seen me as, and I slammed the belt down, looked at her, and walked out the room. Right?
Yeah.
So to her, she like, wow, this can be something my dad will do.
Yeah.
But in the other room, I'm like, oh, what did I do?
Wait, hold on. Hold
What?
on. Did you drop the mic on her?
Yeah, I dropped the mic on her. I dropped the mic on her. It was like,
what?
right?
Okay.
But that was me overreacting. So I believe 2-parent households are very effective because you got that lady that's going to be there like, yo, you wildin'. Or yo, because we ain't perfect. Like, you can have a hard day at work and just come home and just be raging war.
Yeah.
So I made a mistake in that time. But I'm glad that I did it because she know what it can get to.
Yeah. No, and I can attest to that. Cause honestly, it's crazy that we talking about this today. Like, my daughter got her first whooping with a belt yesterday.
Hold on. How old is your daughter?
I didn't say me. I didn't say I did it. See?
Okay.
See? You know what I'm
So
saying?
somebody else beat your daughter?
The only other person I will allow to beat my daughter.
Oh, okay. All right.
You know what I'm saying? So she was just being like, my daughter was being extra. Like, you know, like, yo, you tell her to do something, she wasn't listening. She was just doing the most, you know what I mean? And then, I mean, I heard the first pop, but I was there, but I wasn't paying attention. And I was like, dang, did she just get hit with a belt? Like, I seen the setup, though. I seen when the belt came out and all that, because it was pickup time. It's time for her to leave. But she was acting up. Like, one thing I'll never do, I'll never go against her mom. Like, it is what it is. Whether I feel like she right or wrong,
Let's talk about it later.
yeah, we're going to talk about it later. It's not in my place. You know what I'm saying?
Can I ask a question off camera? I just want to be the voice off camera.
Shout out to our production assistant today.
Yeah.
Hockey Raw.
You could just write your question down.
So your daughter is 3 years old, right?
Listen, so I'm finishing the story.
Your daughter's 3 years old, right?
Yes.
And she got a beat with a belt.
Yes.
Did she have a nap yesterday?
Oh no, I don't remember now.
Maybe she
Saying
needed
that.
a nap, but not a beat.
Listen.
Okay.
Okay, so anyway, as I was saying, they're giving me bars. Like I said, I didn't do it. You know what I mean? But she was flirting around with it. So we're never on that type of time. But like you said, you know, it's good to have that person there all the time to just keep you in check, to even you out with balance. You know, balance, because balance is key. Because there's sometimes like my daughter will do something and I'll just be off the wall. And like, I know this is what he give me hell for this, and he'll never understand this. I'll be like, yo, Journey, go sit in timeout. But what he don't understand, the timeouts, probably 75% of the time are for me. Like, that's key. Like, it's a lot. It's for me. Like, she'll spill some juice on the floor and like, yo, I gotta clean it up because she's not gonna clean it up good. You know what I mean? So it's just like, yo, I go so mad in the rage because it's like your 3-year-old,
Okay.
just like, because she
All
don't
right.
listen.
So let me
And
say-
you knew this was coming, and she does it anyway. So it's like, yo, Journey, go sit in timeout.
Hold on. So did Journey pour the juice on the floor, or was this an accident?
It will be, all right, just say, yo, Journey, don't do that because X, Y, and Z will happen. She still does that, and X, Y, and D happens. X, Y, and Z happens.
All right.
So it's like you know, she didn't listen pretty much. So you warned her and she didn't listen, and something happens anyway. It's like, okay, before I get too mad and I do something that I'll regret, it's like, yo, go sit in timeout. She don't like timeout. And something I read, so if you do want to use the method of timeouts, make sure it's in a safe place and it's in the same place and it's a boring place, but a safe place. Don't send your kids to the bathroom. You know, don't send them to their room where all the toys are, and you know, they're out of your mind, and it's a safe place, but they're up there having fun. You know what I mean? They're not worried about it. So you want to make sure it's a place that they're not gonna like. So I got this little chair in my corner. It's probably not the best place because their chair looks comfortable, but we're not gonna go there. But it's a chair in the corner. You can't see the TV. You know, it's just out of sight, out of mind. It's just there. You know, and she goes sits there for a couple minutes. I say like 5 minutes, but I read it's supposed to be a minute per age. So she's supposed to be there for like 2 minutes. This is just what I read. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. But it helps me calm down. And after I'm done, it's cool. Like she'll look at me and then she'll be like, Daddy, I'm ready. I'm like, all right, Journey, come on. You know what I mean?
I promise to always be honest with you. I actually like that idea of it being more for you, because sometimes you do need that second to be like, yo, let me get myself together before I say something or do something that I shouldn't. So I actually like that. I think that is actually
But-
cool. So
and
is it
then-
a corner, like she's facing the corner?
No, she's not facing the corner.
She
like
get to sit down?
She sit down. Yes, I'm not about to. Yo,
This is a man. She
Yo,
get to sit
yo,
down?
maybe I need to check myself, but I'm not about to. It's a she's 3.
She get to
She's
sit
a
down.
girl.
Yo.
See, look, I'm the type. I'm the type. I'm never gonna put no hands on no females. Like it's just like that's like the number one sin. But what you gotta understand is my daughter loves physical contact and just being up under you. So if you tell her to go sit over there and she's not near you, like she's hurt.
So she
That's
creates
a
separation.
Yo,
anxiety. Right.
that's legit hurt. Like she's like hurt.
Right.
Like when she's on her iPad, like she has to be touching you. Like she has to be touching somebody.
Right.
Like she can't just go sit on her iPad at the table.
Right.
Like it's not her iPad, but it's got to be up under you.
Right.
And like, you know what I mean? It is one of those things. It's like, yo, so when I tell her to go sit over, it's for both. It's punishing her, but it's more so for me. Like, yo, it's like my first thing. Like, go sit over there. Go to timeout. I'm done with you. Like, I'm telling you to do this over and over there.
I'm done with you.
No, I don't say that.
Okay.
It's in my head.
All
You
right.
try to get me.
All right,
But it's
cool.
all good. It's in my head.
All right, so I also want to say something to the viewers or the people that are listening and watching, that this is key. This is something that I realized from an old white lady. And granted, some of the teachings that we say don't work for white kids or other ethnicities don't, reflect our lifestyles, but sometimes it do. So I was at work one day and she was telling me, she says, we have to validate and understand what we have to understand to be able, we have to balance understanding. It's thank you. Is it a kid being a kid doing things that kids do, or is it a kid being delinquent, like a juvenile delinquent?
That's true.
So every kid has wrote on a wall. That's a part of what kids do. That's just what they do. You can't have your baby and then the first day that they born, you're not gonna do this, you're not gonna do this, you're not gonna do this, you're not gonna do this. You gotta give them that rope to actually not hang themselves, but to create the issues that you're gonna say. Because certain kids start fires, but certain kids, write on walls. So you gotta sometimes wait till those things happen. Thank you. So those things happen. So she said, listen, you have to open your eyes and hone, if that's the right word, the craft. If a kid is writing on a wall, go get him an easel. Get him something to write with. Maybe that might be your Basquiat or your, Leonardo da Vinci. So certain things that they do, they punch in the walls. They're so angry. Maybe you need to get them in boxing class. So we have to be able to understand what is a bad kid. Kids shouldn't be beat all of the time. Kids shouldn't be beat for everything. And that cannot be your only source of discipline. Because kids will get immune. Guess what? That kid turned 13. You hit him with that same broomstick and he put his arm up and that joint break. He becomes Meteor Man when he grabbed that book for that 5 seconds. Because he's tired of it and he's built up a tolerance. And I'll say it again. Remind me at the end about power. I'm gonna give you one of these questions and you're gonna take one.
All right, cool.
The first question is, what is the difference that you see with the way you discipline your child compared to how you were disciplined? That's a great question.
Read that again one more time.
What is the difference that you see with the way you discipline your child compared to how you were disciplined? That's a great question. There is not too many different things, really. Because like I said, my dad wasn't abusive. He was fair. You do good in school. You respect others. And you do the chores in the house. And you eat straight. I give my kids an opportunity. Not that it would change anything, but to actually let them be like, because sometimes we be salty as parents.
Yeah.
Yo, go in there. I know you spilled that juice. Go in there and wipe it up. Me as a kid, I would have to go wipe that juice and I'll be pissed because I know I didn't do it. And I just want to be I just want to validate, like, I did not do it. But you can't talk. So my daughter say, Daddy, no problem, but I just want to let you know that I didn't spill the juice. So who did it? You become a rat. But she don't want to. She don't want to clean the juice. Okay, Chad did it.
Okay,
Okay,
little Remy. Okay.
Chad, go clean up that juice because we're not perfect. So I give them the opportunity to make a decision on, to actually speak up. But I feel builds character to say, listen, you ain't gonna put that on me. This is I didn't do it.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm raising a rat. A teller. But I don't really see too many other. I felt like I was disciplined the right way. I felt like that, my disciplines. I could count how many times my dad beat me. 5 beatings.
That's solid. I lost track.
5.
But I ain't gonna lie. I'll revert to this when I got to a certain age. Cause like you said, you know what I mean. If you keep doing the same thing, your kid's gonna get used to it. It's gonna become immune to it. Beatings evolved in my household. When I seen the evolution of a belt becoming fist, and I said, you know what? It's time for me to evolve as a child. Right. There are things that don't need to be done, and I will not do them to get to that beating. Like, it's just not. I'm telling you, I'm like, no, I'm good. Like, I'll do stuff to get on punishment. I'll do stuff to, you know what I mean, get stuff taken away or little stuff like that. But as far as my mom, like, all right, your dad gonna be home. Wait till your dad get home. Because, like, there's also an evolution. Like, my mom used to beat me. When we turned, like, 12, it was that she was not she could do with us no more. It's like, yo, that's all you got. Like, she beating us, you know what I mean? And then she started to cross that line of abuse. Right. Like, pull down your pants. Like, she wanted to get straight skin now.
Now that was her losing the fight though.
Yeah, exactly.
She couldn't do nothing, so she had to try to get it out somehow.
Exactly. She's like, all right, I'm trying to she's gonna try to win.
Right.
But like, that wasn't it. You just welting us now. Like, if it was today, she'd be locked up.
Right.
Because the kids, you can't do stuff to the kids today that you could do back then. Like, we had welts on our butt. Like, you used to walk in the other room, felt like, dang, you rub your John. Like, felt like I was online because I used to do this when I was online. Like, you feel like all right, got some battle wounds, but we still won because you look back. Like, you ever get a whooping, you just look back like,
right, like you ain't doing that.
So, you know what I mean? But then, it like I said, it all evolved. And now she's like, yo, wait till your dad get home. Now you in the mix, like, damn. And on top of that, you knew what was coming, but it's the waiting game because you never know when your dad getting home. Or you never know when he going to catch you. It's just like, it's the waiting game. It's like, and you know, as parents, you never forget. Yo, they never forgot. Like, it is what it is. It's like, damn.
I just think that it has to be a course of action from mom, because.
All right, but we're not gonna be. This is not what we're gonna do because my mom not here to defend herself. Okay. So you're not about to try to crucify my mom on our podcast. I love you, mom. But yeah, let me answer this question real quick.
Can I tell you how my mom beat me one time?
Go ahead.
One time.
All right.
She was upset because she asked us all, "Do y'all want a beating or do y'all want?" I actually came home late from being out, and my sisters were acting up at a B2K concert. Whatever. I mean, like, I wasn't.
No, I'm saying, what were they doing?
My mom was there with them. But I don't remember. It probably was hype. She didn't understand her Marion, but, you know, he came out saying bump, bump, bump. They probably lost their little minds. So she came home and said, all y'all was acting up this weekend. Do y'all want a beating or y'all want punishment? So my sister was like, punishment? 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 I'm like, beating? I seen her face. It was like you showing off in front of everybody. So they looked at me, and I'm like, yo, why don't y'all just get a beating? It's gonna be quick and ain't gonna be that deep. So she heard me. Mm-hmm. She took me in the bathroom and took away all my humanity. I'm in high school, I'm like 15.
So you are like, how did she take away your humanity?
Yo, listen,
because if you gonna bring the can of worms to the table and open it, see what's in the jar.
That's what she did. She like, all right, come on. So we had a downstairs bathroom. So I walk in the bathroom. I'm walking like, this ain't nothing. This life is, you know what I mean? This is life. I go in the bathroom, so I don't even know how to stand to get the start of the beat. You know how like it's the first kiss, you don't know how to start it, but it's like the first hit. Like, how do I all right? Do I like which way you want me to stand? I was like that, and she was pissed. She said, "No, turn around and hold the shower rod." So I hold the shower rod, and I'm like, this ain't nothing.
Kunta?
She said, you must don't know me. I don't beat no pants. So I'm like, She like, get naked.
Oh, so that's why when I said my mom told me to put, you ain't had no ill. You knew where I was coming from.
I'm like, get naked.
So
like,
all right, so I wonder, like, do moms, is that like a mom thing? Like, I wonder if moms
it strips you of, like, just imagine being on Broad Street in front of a whole lot of people and they just take all your clothes off. It does something to you.
Yeah, that's
so
real.
I'm standing in the shower, holding on the shower, covering my nuts like this.
She ain't turned the shower on, did she?
No, she just
all
beat
right,
me
because
on.
I was like, she turned it up a notch.
Like,
Beat you with though.
a belt. So I'm 15, getting beat with a belt, holding on, and she's hitting me. She hit me like 7 times, and none of them hurt it. But it's just like, yo, my mom is seeing me ass naked.
That's real. That's real.
My damn sweatpants over there with my drawers still in the sweatpants. Like, I'm one sock in. Yeah, like, I'm just so humiliated.
They stiff as
I'm still so humiliated. Like, it was the worst. I'm sorry.
All right, yeah.
I'm pissed about that. I was asshole naked, like a cat,
All right.
a cavity search.
I got a lot of ass whoopers, but I ain't never get, like, my mom told me to strip.
Yeah, that's.
Double ass whooping. Maybe I said eat my shit. Right?
All right, real quick. So, do your children under 6 still take naps? Yes, not every day, but my daughter's 3. She just turned 3. Like, you could definitely tell the difference when she takes a nap and when she doesn't. But like, my daughter refuses to take naps. Like, we'll go get her from daycare. They'll let us know, like, yeah, she was the last one to go to sleep. She, like, you know what I mean? And then when she with me, and like Chad brought this to the point, like our first episode, you know, since we do co-parent, when we with our child, like, you know what I mean, we like to spend as much time with them as possible. You know what I mean? Like, It's not like they're there all the time and we're looking for that nap time. Like, I don't look for her to take naps. I'm like, yo, you want to lay down, Jenny? She gonna tell me 100. 10 times out of 10, she gonna tell me no. She don't want to take no nap. That's just, it is what it is. And then I probably should force her to take naps, but like I said, I'd rather spend time with my daughter when I have her, knowing she's gonna go to sleep later that night. She's gonna sleep it off. But like I said, to be honest with you, I found out the effects of a nap before I had a child. Like, I would go chill with my best friend and my godson. You know what I mean? It was his wife now cooked us dinner one time, and you know, she asked her son to say to bless the food, and young boy started crying, and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like,
Sunken, please.
Yo, like, what happened? I'm like, yo, did I miss something? Like, all you did was asking me to bless the food. Like, it's crazy. I remember this, but she like, oh, he didn't take a nap today, and I'm looking, the nap, like, yo, a nap caused this, and then now I have Journey, and I'm like, yo, I see the little thing, like, they be wilding, like, kids wild when they don't get their naps. Like, it be something so simple. Like, yo, it's just a nap. Like, they need that. Like, where was this written that, like, children would need a hour to 2 hour nap to be okay throughout the day? Like, it's crazy.
Now, let me answer that question. I am terrified of naps.
Wait, why?
I'm terrified of naps. I just am. So, I'm scared of these Jones because, and I love this show, man. I really love this show because we're able to talk about stuff that we don't talk about. Because a real good nap come from like 12 o'clock noon to like 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Then they get up and they up till like 6 o'clock. So it's no real good nap for me. Like, if a kid, now granted, if my son Blake was like, go to sleep at 12, wake up at 2 on his own, daddy juice or peanut butter and jelly, that's cool. But I'm just too scared that this nap
he gonna go into the sunken place.
A deep nap and get up and be up all night. I can't stand it at 2 o'clock in the morning. He up talking about Elmo.
But but
I do know that they are effective.
Yeah. But does he show you the effects when he doesn't get his nap? Like when it's 5, 6 o'clock, is he tripping because, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he moody. Like, everything gets on his nerves.
Time to
he lying. People hit
you can wake him up from a nap. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Like, that is possible. You know that, right?
But you get so much done.
No,
but
you know you can wake him up from a nap, right?
For sure. But waking him up from a nap makes him
in the beginning
before he went to sleep.
In the beginning of this podcast episode, you told me that you run this. You're the parent. It's gonna be up to you. You make the decision. It's no negotiations.
Right, and I make the decision to keep him up till 8. So when he go to sleep, he out till 8.
All right.
But I do know the effects. Sometimes I'm just pissed. We go somewhere, he get in the car and go to sleep. I'm mad. I'm like, damn. As soon as I get him out the car, he gonna wake up. Like, he gonna wake up.
Yo, legit, that happened to me this weekend.
I hate getting in the car. It's something about the car. He be like,
Bro, my daughter fell asleep a minute before we got home. I woke her up because I broke my ankle, so I can't really carry her. Mm-hmm. So I had to wake her up real quick. So she like wobbled in the house. We get in the house. I'm like, yo, bet she about to go down. She was up. She didn't take no nap. She was asleep for a minute, and that was it. I was so disappointed. And that's her thing. There's times like she fell asleep on me at the kitchen table, walk to the couch, lay her down. She wakes up, and it's no more nap. Like, that's the most disappointing thing you can ever go through as a parent is to be there, but don't go. But it don't work.
I can catch up on SVU real quick while she
Real
sleep.
rap.
But I just also think that like it's really like the pacifier effect that I like to call the pacifier effect, where we know what's good for them, but we just stay into it because we just comfortable. Like, I know you 5 years old sucking on a pacifier. You shouldn't be sucking on this joint. Yeah. But he ain't gonna go to sleep. So I gotta give it to him. So sometimes we do like the nap thing, as you're saying it. I know that they need to, or he needs to take naps, but it's just the comfortability of how things have been going that I kind of stay away from it. But I do need to do better. Naps, I'm not going to do. But like all these people out here with their 3-year-old kid in the stroller, and they rolling the wheels by themselves and all of that. Like, it's certain things that we got to do a better job with as parents. So the next question came in: do you believe communication with your child will help them become effective communicators in relationships, work, and personal? I'll let you go first.
Wait, you go ahead.
So I say yes. And communication with your child shouldn't be with just discipline. It got to be the whole thing. It got to be everything. It got to be, listen, a lot of people don't do this. Like, when your kid get in a car from getting out of school and they want to tell you about their day and you didn't ask, let them. If they want to say, Daddy, I did this. I was at lunch and I ate my snack. Okay. It's really okay, but you got to play that game and really get them to talk to you. I try now. I'm not perfect. I used to do it when I pick my kids up, but they get on the bus now. I used to ask them every day, who's your friends? And just hear every day how their friends would change. Or their friends would stay the same, that one friend that would stay the same. Because a lot of times kids go to school, you don't know who your kid is when they're in school. You don't know it. So you need to communicate with your kid all of the time, every day. Ask them how their day was. Listen, talk to them about your day. And really give them grown-up conversations. Not telling them about stuff that they don't need to know about. But talk to them like they are a person that you would regularly talk to. I hate when people talk. I hate baby talk. You're not supposed to talk to your kids baby talk. That's what I wanted to go. All that, oh, the boosie, baby. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to talk to them. That's how they develop a vocabulary better. That's how they communicate better. But you got to make people understand that they have to talk. They have to show you something. If you can't talk, point. If you can't point, nod something. You have to be able to. Communication is not always verbal. No, but you have to communicate. It's important. It's imperative to the well-being and to the life. Yeah.
To answer that question, like your children are a little bit older than mine, so you can answer that a little bit better per se, or But to go off with, like, I have a 3-year-old, and I could go off of what you were saying about the no baby talk. My friend Chad, crazy, but a different Chad. Like, one of the things he has girls, he has children. He let me know, he's like, yo, when I talk to my kids, like, there's no baby talk, growing up. And, I listen to what everybody say, and I take bits and pieces, because that's what you're supposed to do. You got to take what fits you, make it work for you. And whenever I talk to Journey, like, even when she was a baby, you know what I mean? I try to use real words. I don't like the baby talk. That's just not me anyway. That goo goo gaga. Like, I even hate when her mom call her stink, fat, butt. I hate those names. It's like, yo, where do we come up with these names? Like, can we find better names for our kids? Like, why they gotta be so negative? Like, why your kid gotta stink? Like, I love the way my child smelled when she was a baby. Right. You know what I mean? Why she gotta be fat?
What she smell like?
a baby, nigga.
I mean, I'm just saying it possibly was.
Yeah, why
delusion.
she gotta be fat?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Growing up, and she run around like, oh, I'm fat. Like, no, you're not fat. You know what I mean? That's a negative term. Like, you know what I mean? But that's neither here nor there. But like I was saying, like I talked to her, like adult now, and people like, oh my God. When she was 2, like she would, say her little 2 or 3 words to people, having communication, you know what I mean, and trying to speak real words, and like, oh my God, how old is she? 3, 4, like, no, she's 2. Mm. You gotta do that. It'll help them advance faster as well. If you show them, you talking to them like a baby, they gonna grow up talking like a baby. Mm-hmm. It's gonna take them longer to grasp those words and regurgitate them.
All right, so I've talked to God about these issues that I have,
mm-hmm.
and in the Bible it says, "Thou shalt not hate."
Mm-hmm.
For a long time in my life, my adult life, I hate kids. I hate badass kids. I hate badass kids. Like a badass kid, I hate, right?
I think I still hate badass kids.
But I have understood that a kid is only going to be who he is represented by or who he is brought up by. So, like, I'm sitting down.
So you on some, like, don't blame them, blame their mother.
Exactly. It's unfortunate that this kid is bad, but it's like, fault. It's kids that ruin things for other kids. Like, in line, they trying to wait to get the snack. You got this one kid that you got to yell at. Or, like, we're just... this kid is just bad. Like, you just keep saying their name. You don't even want to be around them. You don't want to talk to them. You don't want them to come over your house. Mm-hmm. Don't ask to come over his house because he can't come over here. Because it's just so much that he does. The family reunions and cookouts. He didn't slap food out your face, hit kids, rumbled on. And it's like, damn, why you got to be like that? Like, exactly. And it used to get to me. It's like, yo, if I brought him over here, he would change. And, like, sometimes they be so indebted in, like, how they are raised at home that, my fiance tell me, like, you could bring somebody over to your house, but when they got to go back to their house, it's going to take you a long time to really see a result of what you could do. Because some kids will come to your house and behave perfectly.
Yeah.
Then go back home
and just go. It's that respect thing as well, too. Like, they'll, like, if you show them respect, they're going to show you respect back. So, kids is only going to give you what you're giving them. So, sometimes they'll come over to your house and, at home they don't get that respect. They come over here, they see what respect is. You know what I mean? They can understand it, and they're gonna give it back. It's crazy how children work.
Traditional, like, I believe in traditional planning. Like back in the day, like a friend of mine, one of my good friends, him and his little lady went to parenting classes. Regardless if you have family members, you got a mom, you got people in your family that can show you. They took it upon themselves to go to parenting classes, and it's so important, I think, to have babies on purpose with the person that you want to have them with, and y'all both on the same accord. Like, all of that shacking up and just having babies out of nowhere is really not healthy, because I just believe that, like, when you got that book and you sitting down, y'all both writing on this side of the book baby names, that's beautiful. But in that time, you can research and figure out how you're going to discipline your kid. What's going to be effective for you? How do you feel as though it's effective? Those are conversations, because a lot of us learn on the fly.
That's crazy.
So if you don't talk and understand each other, and y'all don't communicate as parents on how y'all gonna raise your kid, y'all creating something that y'all creating a tornado that might be massive that you can't control. By the time you realize you saying, I should have did, on my next child I'll get this right, or I'll do this and I'll do that. Now granted, every kid is different, but, like, you gotta start early. You have to start early. You are creating weapons of mass destruction if you don't start early. Now, there's no, like, every kid gets disciplined different, but you gotta have set rules and base of foundation to raise a child. They say, a book says, like, in your bedroom, for a husband or a wife or boyfriend or girlfriend or whoever lives together, the room that you stay in is only supposed to be for rest and love. No arguments, none of that. So these are the things that you probably need to create before you have children, because it is crazy what we do to our kids before. Like, yelling in your kid's face really pisses me off. Like, sitting over there and him over there, you not saying it to him that way. Just yelling at somebody, that just does something. I know it does something to their self-esteem. Screaming at your kid all of the time, you irking. The stuff that we say to our children is not good. That's not a good source of discipline. It's terrible. Yelling, your kid is right here and you're yelling at him, pulling at him. At that time, you got to take a deep breath and back up and say, whoa, let me take a time out. Because it has an effect. Everything you do has an effect on your child. What they hear you talk about, You sitting there watching Love and Hip Hop in front of your kids
Yeah,
all day.
that's a
All
no-no.
of these things cause issues. Kids is getting real feminine. Their wrists is getting like this. And you can blame it on the milk all you want, but it's what they see. Granted, everybody hear Migos come on and they do a certain type of dance. Because it's become instilled in us, because this is what we see. You are what you see.
Exactly.
In more respects than one. So we got to be mindful of what we do around our kids, because we will have to discipline them for what we showed them.
Mm-hmm.
No, don't tell that little boy to be cursing that man out, that grown man or that grown woman, and then when they do it sometime to a pastor or somebody else, you like, don't do that. No, what are you?
Yeah, that's real.
Am I going to school? Am I not going to school? Am I going to school? You can't just be flip-flopping. It has to be consistent.
Nah, and I like what you said before, like when you are planning and having a child with somebody that you plan to, you know, discipline is one of those things that needs to come up, because
Definitely.
we all come from different parenting styles and come from different homes. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. Like it was a book that I read, The Battle Hymn of a Tiger Mom. It's crazy. It was pretty much a Chinese American lady, mm-hmm. and then she married a white Jewish guy. Two totally different backgrounds. I don't know if you guys know anything about Chinese, like
teachings.
That is real. Like their parent. I'm reading this book and some of the things she was doing to their kids, because her and her husband got together and they decided that they want to raise their daughters the Chinese American way. Like they want to do it with the Chinese method.
So he put away his teachings of how
His
he
teaching and how he was brought up.
Adopted hers.
Yes,
and they did it
because even his mom, their grandmom, had, you know, didn't agree with it, because, you know, she's like, oh, let the kids be free and, you know, explore for themselves. They need to go run around and play. The mom's like, no, I'm here to put you guys in the best position for the future. Ain't no ifs, ands, buts about it. I don't care what you got to say. What I say is what we're going to do. And like she started naming things. Like I recommend to read the book, because it's crazy to get a different perspective on parenting. I'm reading the book like, oh yeah. There's some things like I need to do that, and then there's some things like there's no way I can do that. Mm-hmm. Like she's like, there in the Chinese method, there's no sleepovers, there's no drama club, there's no sports unless you and you can only play the piano. You can play the instrument, and it's got to be the piano or the violin. Mm-hmm. And it's like you got to get all A's. The only thing you're allowed to not get A's in is gym and health or something like that. And it's like what? It's like it's crazy. Like their schedules were like legit lit. Like they had to come home and practice the piano or violin for 2 hours every day, then do homework for another hour. So it's like, you know, and it's like they had to be 2 grades ahead of their class in math. So if they're in the 4th grade, they had to be doing math at a 6th grade level. Like it's insane. And I'm looking at some of the stuff like, there's no way in hell I could put my daughter through this, only because I didn't go through it. And like I'll feel like I'll be taking things away from her that I grew up with, that I cherished. So therefore, like I just don't. But there's some things that I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Like I want my daughter to learn piano.
So that makes sense. I was in BJ's on Sunday, and I'm pushing the cart. The lady reached over the cart. Asian lady reached over the cart and grabbed the magazine or something and came back, and I'm looking at her like, you not gonna say excuse me? Like she cold, like she reached over the whole jaw. Didn't say excuse me. So I feel like when you teaching somebody what you're teaching, like that stuff right there, you're gonna lack something. So like, thank you. You're gonna lack something. Oh, that's for you. Sorry. You a star. You blowing up, man.
All right. I got a question. In the book, does she speak about the negative effects of her parenting? Yeah. And it's crazy because you mentioned this earlier. And of course, this is with anything. She had 2 daughters. Mm-hmm. Her first daughter was like perfect. Like she tell her what to do. She'd run and go do it. You know, her second daughter, defiant. Right. Like she would be like, you know, go practice piano. And that's why her second daughter did violin, because she didn't want to listen, and she was dare to be different. Like, you know, there's nothing wrong. It's just different children, and they took to her differently. The second one, like, no, she wasn't doing it. Like, there's times like she talk about her negative effects, like how her and her daughter beefed pretty much growing up. Like her and her older daughter, great relationship. Her and her second daughter, not so much, because she didn't take to her parenting methods. Like, so yes, she does talk about the negatives, and it go in, like, you know what I mean? I like the book because it gave me a different perspective on parenting and where they came from. But like, if you look at the Chinese, they taking off. They always in the top of their class. They're always doing great things. You know what I mean? You know, not to boost them and make it seem like, you know, we're not shit per se, but is part of it is because the way they were brought up. Like, that's what they were brought up.
So you can be bamboozled. So one time I was servicing the Master Walk. I do routine maintenance over there, and the lady was like, I was signing my paperwork to leave, and she like, "What you doing?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She said, "You write with left hand?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah, I write with my left hand." She said, "You don't write with your right hand at all?" I said, "No, I'm left-handed." She says, "In China, nobody left-handed."
Yeah.
Like, what you mean nobody left-handed? So I'm thinking scientifically, like, if you born on this side of the hemisphere, maybe the way your body is set up is no left-handed. No, they will beat your hand, tie your hand behind your back until you write with your right hand.
Yeah, I heard that too.
I mean, they really they strip certain things from you. Now, a lot of us parents struggle academically, like as far as teaching academically. Like, we push our kids out there to the school and say, school teach them, and when they come home, we don't even remember half the stuff that they're learning. And there's new ways of teaching now that we're just like frustrated, and we just say, just do whatever and just go get them help. We're not really involved with our kids academically. So the way that the Chinese teaching and some of the book that I did read of it was really intense, but it was like, I felt like it's effective because you got to teach a kid. Exactly. And I feel like teaching them go hard at school will help them go hard at whatever else their dream is.
Oh, yeah.
But you can't strip them from finding who they are by making them who you want them to be, because there is no blueprint or right or wrong way to raise your kids. You could be an absent father. I mean, a deadbeat dad, never been around, and you can have a kid who's the most successful person in the world. You can be the great parents. I mean, how many times we see rich parents who've created lifestyles for their children, and then they out here snorting cocaine or doing heroin, and they're just like bad kids. Not to say that they're bad people, but, you know, just took a different route. So there's no right or wrong way, but you have to say, like, this is key for me as a parent. I don't know what I'm doing. I only hope that what I'm doing helps them in the best way, right? But this is how I live my life. If my son or my daughter is up at prison and they're on trial and I'm in the back of the courtroom and they're about to do 100 years in jail, I just want to be able to stand up and look them in their face before they sentence them and say, you knew better because I taught you better.
What are your thoughts on rewarding good behavior?
Rewarding good behavior. It's tough because sometimes you're like, I'm rewarding you for something that you're supposed to do. So it's tough because I'm rewarding you for something that you're supposed to do, but you still want to let them know that, because sometimes it seems like the kid who gets the D's and the F's get more attention than the kids who get the A's. So it's a fine balance. So I feel like you can, you know, give them a pizza, not a pizza party, take them out to dinner. Oh, thank you, Buffalo Wild Wings or something. We take my daughter to Buffalo Wild Wings, just to switch it up. But like, it's tough to say because, like I said, I don't know everything. So it's tough to say what's the best way to reward a kid because it depends on the kid.
Yeah, and I agree with you too, because my daughter was in daycare, and like, she went through this streak where she was just being bad in daycare. So when she was good, we would take her to get water ice. And it come to a point where every time she was good, she would let us know, like, I was good in school, I want to get water ice. And I had to step back, like, I had to talk to her mom, like, no, like, we're not about to keep getting her water ice. Every time she good, like, she's supposed to be good. Like, let's not get it, I guess, let's not get confused on what we're doing here. Like, you know, it's not one of those type things. You're supposed to be good. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm on the fence of rewarding good behavior, but only to a certain extent. Like, you got to know when to cut it short, because they might get in this continuation of things, like, where they just think that a good day at school equals water ice, or a good day at school equals this, when that's something you should be doing regardless.
To piggyback off what you're saying, I take it in a different way, but I want you to get back to where you were going.
Okay.
But like, we fail so much as parents. Start the live over again. We we fail so much as parents. What I mean by that is like, we don't educate ourselves enough.
Yeah.
So we don't educate ourselves enough to a point where like, if your kid is getting D's and F in school, we beating them.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna get a good grade. You gonna do better. You gonna do better. And it's like, yo, I'm struggling here, and I'm showing you I'm struggling by getting D's and F's.
Mm-hmm.
You have to know your child. You gotta know that like reading might not be their strong suit. It might be math. Mm-hmm. So like you getting A's in math, but you getting F's in social studies. Okay, duh. Social studies might not be my strong suit. Mm-hmm. Maybe the teacher is bad or whatever. Sometimes kids will be just horrible because they get over on the teachers. But we got to look at the situation and say, is this something that they need to get beat for? Yeah. Or is this something we need to put them on punishment for, or whatever type of discipline that you choose? Or get them help. My son, maybe like a month ago, I was talking to my fiance and I was just like, yo, like every time I ask him something, he always saying, huh? Mm-hmm. What you say? Like you could me look him dead in his face and be like, go upstairs and get my cell phone. Huh? What you say? And then sometimes he'll see me get mad. He'll go upstairs, sit up there for 5 minutes. I'll forget he went upstairs and be like, yo, Chad, I couldn't hear what you said. What you wanted me to get? So I thought about like really putting my hands on him or putting him on punishment or taking away some stuff. But I had to think about it like maybe it's something. Maybe he's showing me something without communicating with it verbally. Mm-hmm. So I got him an appointment to the doctors, and I went to go get his ears checked. And as I Googled it, they can get like super like a whole lot of wax in the ears that need to get cleaned out. It could be something going on in there. So before we go to discipline, sometimes we gotta look at things and figure out what we gotta do before when you think of discipline, you think of beating and punishment. But before you take a course of those courses of action, we got to do look at the whole thing and
look at the whole picture,
the whole scope, and figure out what it could be. Like, your kid. Like, if your kid is in the first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, all the way up to the sixth grade, and they're getting straight A's, then they get to the seventh grade, and they're just like flunking out. What happened? Did dad and mom get a divorce? Yeah. Are they getting bullied? Yeah. What is going on? You got to ask these questions. You just can't go up there and just start beating the kid. Yeah. Now, I hope that don't go back and forth with what people think that I am, because I'm definitely not an abusive person. I just believe that we got to open our eyes a little bit more.
Yeah, all right. Another way of non-physical punishment.
Our kids got to be scared of us. That's how I feel.
Natural consequences. Pretty much natural consequences. If you tell your child, don't touch the stove, you're going to get burned. And, they touch the stove. They're naturally it's going to be enough. Like, you don't need to go beat your kid for touching the stove because they already in enough pain. Mm-hmm. So you can let that course take its role. And then you got logical consequences.
That happened to me one time when I drank a whole joint of syrup. Like, not promethazine, but like,
yeah, you're gonna get sick.
Yeah, because I ain't want to drink water.
We got logical consequences. These are just another methods of non-physical punishment as a parent that you can take, so you're not always beating your kids like Chad. Logical consequences. Pretty much, say if you got kids that leave their toys laying around and you keep telling them to clean it up. All right, then next week you take all their toys because they don't clean it up. It's logically you're gonna lose out on your toys if you don't listen to me when I keep telling you to clean it up. Right. Taking away privileges, something they love. They say it's best to take away something dealing with their behavior. Like if they, you tell them to turn off the TV and they keep watching the TV, then take away the TV for whatever. Got timeouts. We already talked about that though earlier in here. Then they got Chad's favorite, corporal punishment, which we talked about as well. So this is just some of the other things like that you can do without being physical. Always. Beating your kids, like, you like to have options, as Chad say. Don't be predictable.
Yeah, don't be predictable. All right, so I'm gonna get to that point that I wanted to say earlier.
Yep, kids in power.
We have to discipline our kids early, because as a parent, you think you have the power, but really you do not have the power as a parent. And this is my opinion. I know people are going to kill me about this, but you do not have the power as a parent. The kids have all of the power. You just don't know it. You're just trying to hide it from them until they're old enough to get out the house and they never touched you. If you're constantly beating your kid from 2 years old to 10 to 15, at one point, they're going to get acclimated to those punches and they're going to flip out on you. Let's play. What you going to do if your kid flip out on you? You got a son, he flip out on you. You going to really want to beat him up. But let's say he hit you and he crack you and hurt you. He has all of the power because a kid that gets to a point where they don't care, you cannot compete with a kid that don't care. If you don't care, it's dangerous. Yeah. You take his Xbox, he don't care. You tell him he can't go outside, he don't care. You tell him he got to sit in his room with no TV, no nothing, he don't care. You beat him up, he don't care. He gonna do whatever he want, or she gonna do whatever she wants, she don't care. You as a parent become strapped to your most vulnerable state where you gotta seek help. And a mom or a dad that gotta go somewhere else to seek help, you done lost your child.
No. I'm not rocking with it. I'm not rocking with it.
You have lost your child.
So you're telling me if a parent is going through different methods of trying to discipline and figure out their child, and they go ask for help somewhere, that they lost their child?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
And
no.
Listen, I'm going a little far fetched, but I'm saying you've got 15 years with this kid.
Some parents need help, bro.
I understand.
It's not. It is what it is. Everybody's different. Like you said, there's sometimes there's some kids out there that may be able to be disciplined and listen to other people other than their parents. And it could be just natural.
How many times have I know Hawk probably went through this, and I know I went through this. If you see your teacher break down, like your teacher just be like screaming, crying, everybody throwing papers in the air, dumping the table, you mad. You lost your, just like a coach can lose his locker room, a parent can lose her child.
You know why a parent loses their child? Because the parent lost their self. You can't lose your fucking kid. I don't give a fuck.
You can lose your kid, man.
Yo,
you can't lose your kid. I'm telling you, you can lose. Tripping. If your kid, let me clarify.
You know the only way you can lose your kid if you're not there.
No.
Period.
Yo, you can lose your child. If your kid doesn't respect his everything, if your kid loses respect for you, it is a wrap. It is a wrap. You can't do nothing to them. You can't beat them. You try to put them on punishment, they still going outside. All of that. It's either they gonna kill you or you gonna kill them. At some point, you lose the child. You put your hands up and say, there's nothing I can do with this child. Glen Mills, St. Gabe's, people send their kid away because there's nothing they can do with them. You haven't experienced it, neither have I. But I'm just saying that isn't the case. You get to a point where you beating your kid up so bad that you feel like you fighting a dude outside in the street, and you know that they still don't care.
She riding too hard.
Who?
Wifey riding too hard. That is not true.
She said she agree?
Yeah, of course she's gonna agree, but that's not true.
Like call anybody. We haven't experienced this, but if you lost, what is it? Is a good girl going bad? She's gone forever. That's just how it goes.
Okay, I hear you. There's certain instances that children may act out in different ways. You know what I mean?
My point. Hawk said you got to get help. My point of
no, but that doesn't mean if you need help, that does not equate to losing your child.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Y'all getting what I'm saying? Y'all gotta rewind the tape. What I'm saying to you is you have to discipline your kid and get control of it early. Because if you wait too late, you trying to get tactics of taking them around the corner to meet the uncle around the corner or something like that. It's too late. You got to get help early. You got to pay attention to the signs early. You can't wait till they're just a juvenile delinquent, not going to school, not going to... You got to do it early. A kid will respect somebody else and still not you. Go to that...
No, you could... No, that's true. Some kids aren't like that. But sometimes you need a third party to show you the value of your parent. You might feel some type of way about your mom. Oh, my mom was some bullshit. She on this, that. But listen, young boy, your mom is a queen. Your mom is doing this for you. That's why she don't have time to take you hair, or she don't have the money to spend on hair because she spent it on this. Then you sit back and you wonder, damn.
And that's help. You know what that's called? That's help.
That makes you love your mother more and appreciate your mother more. As a child, you want certain shit. Your homie drug dealing pop might get him every video game that come out. Your mom can't afford that because your mom goes to work and save lives. And
This
she
is
pay all the
facts.
bills and shit.
Is because all right, peep game. You ever
I'ma
play, you
say
play
this. If you
basketball,
lose
right?
your- if
You
you-
play basketball, right?
Right.
Your pop ever tell you something and it go one ear out, but your coach tell you the same thing and you listen to your coach?
Right.
It's the same thing. Sometimes things just come and it resonate
And it's
better
all about
when it come
who
from
you want to hear it from.
yes, exactly, bro.
Who you want to hear it from? Nobody
See,
wants to
help
hear
is
it
not
from
help is just because you get help is not a loss. I know
It's a whole lot of single mothers out here that know their kids sell drugs. 15, 16, ain't nothing they could do with them. There's a whole lot of single mothers out here.
16 years old, what you gonna do with them?
My point exactly.
No, it's not your point exactly, bro. For real, mentally, you still a child at 16. At 16, you a man, bro.
real rap.
When I was 16, I was out. I was making grown man decisions.
Exactly. And it was nobody that could tell you nothing that you was doing. Whether they told you to do it or not, you was gonna do what you wanted to do regardless, right?
No, because the shit that I did it because I felt as though I had to do that as a man. I felt like I had to shoot drugs. I had to sell drugs. I had to carry guns.
Listen, man.
And that's why dads got to be there, because there's too many kids getting put to the pressure of being grown before they are. They feel like they got to go get the big piece of fish for mom, and it's too much. Like, you got the oldest son who's supposed to be the man of the house, and he's 13.
That
So
brings back to our point. That's why dads got to be there.
dad's got to be there.
You're a child because you lose yourself. What we said in the beginning.
Yeah, bro.
Listen, I'm just saying, women need help.
Yeah, we could, all right. You got your opinion. We got ours. We
that's
go,
fine.
We could go at this all day.
That's fine. I agree.
I mean, we running long.
Yeah.
But before we end this, I did have a question that I wanted to ask you.
Okay.
I'll answer the same question. Yeah, I mean, probably ended on a good funny note because I'm
Okay.
pretty sure you're just kind of funny.
Right.
All right. What was the worst thing you did growing up, and what was the repercussions, the discipline, and how did your parents or your father handle that?
I stole money from my dad before.
Yo, what?
I stole money from my dad before.
Continue on. Continue on.
So listen,
Continue on. Go
it's
ahead.
probably over a bean.
What?
Listen, continue on, because we on the time constraint. I don't want it to go too long, because it's like 2 or 3 minutes each. Go ahead.
All right, so basically, like, Pop, let me get some money. Like, all the people in my school, had money going to school. Like, one boy, I remember his name. His name was Marv. He came to school every day with $5. We was in middle school. He came to school every day with $5. And that $5, he can go get him a hoagie in the morning. He had money at the end of the day to go get him a Little Debbie, some Doritos, a bag of chips, and a day soda. Like, he had it like that. Certain days I wasn't going to school with money. So my dad had a change jar on top of the refrigerator, and I would just grab, a couple dimes, quarters, and nickels, put in my pocket. Then the next day I would grab. But I didn't realize in my mind that every day you grab, less is going to be in there. So I seen him. He was going in the kitchen, and he went there to go put like 4 quarters in there and was like, yo, you took my money? I'm like, yeah. Man. It seemed like his arm just stretched across the whole kitchen to the living room, caved my chest in, beat the mess out of me, and put me on punishment for like 2 months.
Well, that was one of them 5 butt whoopers you had in your life.
And I remember the radio station. I forget, I don't remember the radio station, but they was playing 4 songs back to back to back. It was Mystical, Keep Bumping Me Against the Wall. It was Faith Evans, My Heart Belong. And it just was, so was you hungry? Hell yeah. No, it wasn't even that I was hungry. I wouldn't even have thought about it if I didn't see people going to this, like, coming from.
So you wanted to flex too?
It wasn't that it was on the flex. Like, I'm
On
coming
the
from
flex, the
basketball
Little
practice. Everybody gonna go get Little Debbie's and chips and all that, and I'm just sitting there with the
One of the core boys.
daylight saving time, 5:00. Everybody walking home from basketball practice, and everybody eating snacks. Got the bag on the wrist, and I'm eating nothing.
Yeah, I hear you.
No, yeah,
The struggle is real.
he fucked me up that day.
But you
And for
stole
you.
$100 worth of change.
It wasn't in one day. It was like a month. Like, every day I was just
So you
grabbing.
just,
How much you stole like 5
Oh, you're right.
No, hell no.
So
You
you-
had the change.
yeah.
You dad petty.
Yeah.
Dad petty.
$100. Listen,
Hey, man,
$100
penny earned and penny saved,
right,
bro.
for sure. Now, what about you?
All right. The worst thing I did growing up, it was when AIM was popping, right? So I ain't had no game. So I used to talk to, the shorties through the messenger, right? So, I'm doing my chore. I'm cleaning the bathroom. So I'm in the sink, got the water running. I hit the sink real quick, right? Boom, dropped the towel in there. I ran down the hall to the computer real quick, texting shorties with the aim, you know what I mean? So I think it had to be like an hour pass that I got stuck in a conversation. You'd be waiting for the reply. So I'm sitting there. I hear something. It's like a waterfall downstairs. Yo, right? It's like a waterfall downstairs. So I don't even really. So I run past the bathroom and run downstairs, right? I look at the ceiling. It's just water just pouring from the ceiling. So I look up. I'm like, no. So I run back upstairs. I'm like, where that's coming from? I'm like, it's a towel that stopped up the sink. And the water overflowed from the sink. Onto the floor. And it's coming through the dining room.
You never heard none of that. You was so deep into this conversation.
Bro. So, right? So I grab a blanket and throw it on the dining room floor and go to my friend's house up the street. I go to my friend's house up the street because I didn't even want to be in the crib when they got home and they seen this. Right. I went straight to my homie crib and I was there. My parents called me. My parents called me about 5 times before I really answered the phone. I went home. They asked me what happened. I think I came up with some elaborate lie like the tub did this or the toilet did this. Or, you know what I mean? I was on punishment for I think 6 months. They took the TV out of my room. Like I literally had to come home, go to school, come home, go to my room, only leave if I wanted to go to the kitchen to get something to eat. And then I'm back in my room. I was low key locked up when I was in the house for 6 months. Like I'm talking about no outside. Like homies like can Tyrese get no.
That's love.
I think I think, and it's crazy because now that I'm older and like my line of work, like I realize what I did. I'm like, I caused some serious damage to their house. Like, that's their house. Like, and I caused some serious damage. And like, I'm older now and I have a home and I'm like, let her do some stuff like that.
Oh, you ain't gonna beat her.
That might be the time. Somebody
got a story similar. His name is Zio Mingo. He said his sister did the same thing with the tub.
Oh, Zio Mingo. Hi.
She was at a party when it happened.
Yo, bruh.
Listen,
I was petrified. I literally threw a blanket on the carpet downstairs, like, and just left.
Tried to hide it.
And just left.
Everybody smelled like mildew.
Yo, bruh.
The crazy. That's crazy. So, in closing, I just want to get my closing, and you can get yours, so we can get out of here. I think we've been rather long today, and we had some technical difficulties. So, I just think that anytime you want to discipline somebody, I think that you have to create your discipline practices before a situation or instance happens, because at that time you're thinking at the wrong part of your brain, and you can go a little bit too far. So I think that you should have an idea of the type of discipline that you decide to use and create it. I know on our Absent Dad podcast on Instagram, we asked people what do they do, and a lot of people chimed in and said what they like, what is their discipline or how they discipline their children, and that's something good to have to be able to discipline your kid. Now, sometimes certain things can get like out of control. Now, if it's something that's happening, ask questions. Don't resort to beating your kid first. Figure it out. See if it's a trend. Have a conversation with them. See if this is something they're going to consistently do, because create the idea in your mind of disrespect. You did this one time. Okay, it's not a problem. You do it again, we're going to have a problem. And if they do it again, then they're showing you that they either have a problem or they're blatantly trying to disrespect you. So basically create good practices. Work with your mate. If y'all not together, y'all away from each other, y'all have to create healthy disciplines together, because if a kid will go to the mom house and do something crazy, but at the dad house is totally different. So we got to come together to discipline our kids, and it takes a village. Stop telling people they can't hit your kids. Let the neighbor fuck your kid up.
No, just to go over quick things, man. Like everything he said was true. I don't really have nothing negative to say about that besides if you my neighbor, don't touch my child. Physically, but you can discipline my child. I know, nah, I got you. But you could discipline. Like it's very true. It takes a village. Everybody should be involved in disciplining your child. Adult, they should have that respect for every adult, and you should only put adults in your child's lives that's going to steer them in the right direction and help them. But when you're disciplining your child, man, make sure you communicate with your children why what's happening is happening, and make sure they understand what they did wrong and you understand what they did wrong, so they can connect the two. Therefore, you're not wasting, you just not out here kicking ass and they don't know what they getting their ass kicked for. Be respectful to your child at all instances. Don't have your child grab the shower curtain rod. You know what I mean? Be respectful, because they will remember that in any type of way. Like, we both had similar stories. One was a little bit more extreme than the other. But, if you listen to the episode, you know what I'm talking about. Be consistent. Back to what Chad said, in every household, wherever they go, make sure everybody's consistent and on the same page. And when it's done, it's done. After the consequence is done and you done your discipline and that's over, let it be. Don't keep dwelling on your child, bringing up the same thing. Oh, last month when you did da 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 da. They already did their time. Either you beat their butt or you put them on punishment. Once the time is done, it's done. Let it be. Move on. Move forward. And understand your children. Find out what's appropriate to them. Don't have the same clean cut discipline for all of your kids. It's going to be different. Everybody's going to react differently. So make sure you understand your children and build off of that and discipline each person different. Like you said before, some people like a punishment. Some people like an ass whooping to get it over with. Some people like the slow and steady. Like, I don't want to feel the pain. Let me sit in my room for 2 weeks. You know what I mean?
I disagree with that. That's tough, but we could talk about that next time.
Yeah, we could talk about that.
You show favoritism, and kids seek that out. Like, why did they get this? It's because it seems not that big of a deal to them. But we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. But other than that, man, that's all we have for you today, man. This is on SoundCloud, YouTube. If you're on our YouTube, like and subscribe, please. That way you get the updates. You don't have to worry about us sending it out or us bugging you, because we're going to be in your head. We like this content. We love this. This is something we care about. We want to share it with the world. We want the world to see it. Right. I enjoy this. I look forward to this, getting with you, having these conversations. Today was an extra good one. I appreciate you. Yeah. I appreciate your stories. I appreciate everything you do, bro. Like, I really do. Like, this is great. I mean, shout out to Hawk. I appreciate you coming out, sharing, taking the time out of your night away from your family to share with us. Come help us out. Give us a hand. This is great. I enjoy everything about it. And you can go ahead, man.
I feel the same way. Thank you for tuning in. Absent Dad Podcast.
Yes.
Peace.
At last, the Absent Dad Podcast with T-Bark and Blackie Chad. Serving the realness, don't make them mad. Nah, say how you feel. Communicate freely, that's how you build. Word.